got to say that enduring partnerships are vital to building stronger trade and investment links with China. Fortunately, we have Victoria and China already share a relationship based on historic, strong foundations and an enduring friendship, as well as an active relationship. China is Victoria's largest trading partner. In 2010-11, the two-way trade between us was valued at more than $11 billion. And in the last decade, major Chinese companies have invested more than $280 million in Victoria and created more than 1,000 local jobs. Now, recent investors from China have included telecommunications giant ZTE, Huawei, appliance manufacturer Hisense, IT giant Bansimco Technologies. We have also from the mining industry, Metals and MMG, chemical producer ChemChina, SciTech Australia's diverse business interests, and we now see even the banks with the Bank of China now with 8 branches in Australia, with 2 of those branches here in Melbourne. We also have global solar giant Suntech, who have recently established a research centre for solar cells in Victoria and partnering with Swinburne University. And as we also know, Victoria is the home of the automotive industry and has been so for more than half a century. And we are one of the very few countries in the world now that can still produce a motor vehicle from the drawing board to the showroom floor. And last month I was pleased to be celebrating a significant joint venture between Holden and Pan Asia Technical Automotive Centre, PADAC. And this is a new 4-year agreement to see PADAC provide the engineering, the design, the development and the testing services to Shanghai GM and its Chinese offshoots. And what it means for Victoria is, of course, the skilled staff at Holden GM's Port Melbourne base will be developing at least 2 new vehicles for the world's largest car market in China. And it is a great boost for our manufacturing sector here in Victoria. And it's another example, in my view, of the strong networks and the links and synergies that we have between Victoria and industry in China, and helping to expand both business opportunities here and indeed in China. China is already, as I indicated, Victoria's largest export market. As China's consumption grows, however, it will increasingly move to a more service-based economy, with a growing demand for the kinds of services that Victorian companies can supply. We also believe there will be a strong interest in China, along with other powerhouse economies in Asia, and some very exciting opportunities that may open up in the export of dried brown coal from the Latrobe Valley. And I know from my recent conversations in East Asia that energy security is one of the top policy priorities for our major trade and investment partners in the region. And if we can prove up the emerging technologies, the drying brown coal for export, there is no reason why the Latrobe Valley could not become an important part of the energy equation across Asia, as are the Hunter Valley or the Bowen Basin. We always say that our brown coal reserves on current usage is around 550 years, so we have a significant base there. The innovation, the advanced technology and high quality infrastructure could fashion potentially an entirely new future for the valley as an export hub, and I know those possibilities will be closely studied in all of the industrial centres of Asia, including China. In February this year, HSBC Global Connections predicted that China's growth will drive an increase of nearly 7% in Australia's trade each year for the next 5 years. Magnificent growth. And such growth represents a huge potential for Victorian businesses. And we intend to make sure that Victoria is well placed to benefit. As a new government, we have set forward a range of policy initiatives. Firstly, in terms of the manufacturing sector, we've committed a substantial amount of money improving our manufacturing base here, and certainly at the high end. We've also committed in the budget $50 million towards what we call Victorian International Engagement Strategy. It's specifically to generate more opportunities for Victorian businesses to engage in the growth markets overseas. And at the heart of this strategy is a single-minded goal: to internationalise the Victorian industry to deliver long-term economic growth for the state, and particularly to grow sectors across our diverse manufacturing sector. We employ over 310,000 people in this sector, and the flagship of our strategy is a large-scale targeted trade program to help grow our international links and increase Victoria's export and investment. And our expanded trade program will also include more targeted industry-specific missions, visits to key trade events and expos, and inward buyer missions to bring key decision makers and distributors to Victoria. And we've been operating that over the last 12 months, and it's been proven to be quite successful. And it's not just China's economy that's growing. As the number of middle-income households in Chinese cities rises, China is becoming one of the largest consumer markets in the world. And again, according to HSBC, 9 out of the top 15 emerging import sectors of China are in the food and food commodities. And food consumption patterns in China have changed significantly with rising living standards. Chinese consumer tastes are also becoming more demanding, more discerning, and more sophisticated. And as income rises, families in mainland China have become more health and quality conscious, safety conscious, and are willing to spend more on their food. Last financial year, Victoria exported close to $500 million of food and beverage to China.